And it was on that mountaintop, at that time when my dad was in prison, 2 brothers in prison. At the age of 16, I decided I'm not going there. I'd been and visited them. I didn't want to be in that place. But on that hill that night, extremely lonely, broken, lost, I looked up into the stars and I pondered at the stars and I thought, wow, God, if you're there and if you're real, I want to meet you. What is life all about? What is this pain and sorrow and loneliness and despair that was in my life at that time? Now, I never heard God with a big audible voice shout down to me. And that night I went off home and went to bed. Now, 2 weeks later, I was rounding up a big bull that had broken loose and he had gone a couple of kilometres to the next door neighbour's place. And I'm on the horse, steel cap boots, and we're just going down the road. And suddenly she shied at something and I was on my back on the road with my right hand boot still caught in the stirrup. And she was looking down at me and I thought, wow, how do I get out of this? And my boss was probably 800 metres odd down the road, turned around and saw me, came back. And just as he reached out to grab the reins, she took off and dragged me down this gravel road over a cattle stop under a tree plantation. I can still visually see it to this day. And in that tree plantation, I believe the angels of the Lord cut that great big thick leather to the stirrup, which I still had on my boot when they found me, and amongst the pine needles. And when I regained consciousness, I knew I wasn't in heaven because I opened my eyes and I was looking into my boss's eyes. And I thought, you know what? I wasn't brought up in a religious home. I had no religion, no Sunday school, no teaching of the gospel at all. But I came to a crossroads in my life where I turned around and said, God, are you there? Are you real? If you are, I want to meet you. Do you know, I believe if I hadn't have said that a couple of weeks prior to that, I may have been dead in amongst those pine needles. But God heard my cry. God heard my cry.